I'm Jared LeBlanc, and you're watching Maine Freedom Watchdogs. And ladies and gentlemen, we have never been closer to living in an authoritarian police state. Today I'm going to ask you to think about what it is that makes America such a special place, because if we don't even really understand what it is that we're about to lose, then we are in big trouble. So, what is it that makes America so special? 200 years ago, our founders set up our country based on the idea that we have natural rights as human beings. Since those rights don't come to us from the government can never take those rights away. Governments are instituted to protect those natural rights. Our government was based on the radical idea that people are the master and the government is the servant. That was a very progressive idea at the time. It became known as the American experiment. Thomas Jefferson believed that the results of this experiment would show that people can rule themselves without a master. Our Constitution was written to limit the power of government. America became great not because of anything that the government did, but because of what the government was prevented from doing. Today we're doing just the opposite. We've allowed our government to take over and start doing everything. We've gone from being a free country to a country that still talks about being free, but really isn't. Think about this. What's the opposite of being free? Being in jail? America now locks up more of its citizens than any country on earth, including China, which has over 1 billion people. The war on terror has been used as an excuse to dismantle our Bill of Rights and to further discredit the American ideals of our founders. FEMA instructors demonize the ideals of our founding fathers to new recruits.
Who was the first terrorist organization in the United States? Who? Founding Fathers. Founding Fathers. Your founding fathers, my founding fathers, were involved in acts of terrorism.
We're being told that in order to be safe from terrorists, we have to abandon our natural rights.
Is there a chance that some of your civil liberties may slip while we guarantee the security of this country? Maybe. Maybe.
Benjamin Franklin warned that those who sacrifice their freedom for security will end up with neither. Ronald Reagan said that the most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government, I'm here to help you." When the government says it's going to keep you safe, look out, because you're about to lose your rights. Here's the good news. Most Americans are now awake. 2 events woke us up. When President Bush signed the Patriot Act, it took away our Fourth Amendment rights to privacy and actually returned Americans to the pre-Revolutionary War status where police write their own search warrants to enter our homes, and now they don't even have to tell us that they were there.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire for a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The second event that has woken people up was the passage of this fascist health care bill. The health care bill is no more about health care than the Patriot Act was about keeping us safe from terrorists. Neither bill was written in the interest of the American people. These are power grabs by a dangerous international financial elite that have tremendous influence on the leadership in both parties in Washington. When these royal bankers came to Pittsburgh last year for the G20, ordinary citizens were told to stay away. The city was on lockdown, and those who thought they still had freedom of speech were put in their place. This is the police state we will all soon live under unless these unelected financial tyrants are confronted and knocked off their perch of power.
By order of the City of Pittsburgh Chief Police, I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. By order of the City of Pittsburgh Chief Police.
Throughout the 20th century, the international bankers of the Federal Reserve and other central banks, have funded communism. They have funded socialism. They have funded fascism. They fund anything that consolidates private wealth into the government sector, where they then steal it for themselves to add to their pile. They do it over and over again. They do it with right cover. They do it with left cover. The health crime bill is their latest power grab. It steals from the American taxpayer and gives it to the bankers that own the private health insurance industry. President Obama thinks that if he says the bill stands up to the insurance companies enough times, you might start to actually believe it. Well, don't. The insurance companies wrote this stinking bill and they love it. The fact that their stocks are up is proof of that fact. The only thing bipartisan about this bill was the opposition to it. Many prominent Democrats vigorously opposed the bill before kissing the president's ring and falling back into the party line.
This bill is a sellout to the insurance companies.
And don't be fooled into thinking that only Democrats have pushed for health insurance mandates. Republican Mitt Romney has already forced people in Massachusetts to buy health insurance. So forget about party politics for the moment, because the Patriot Act and the Health Insurance Act are both means to the same end, which is an authoritarian takeover of this country. The left-right paradigm is being used to get Americans to go along with the takeover. The left tolerates big government takeovers anytime they're told it's for progress or fairness. The right tolerates big government takeovers anytime they're told it's to protect us from boogeymen. The left takes a step forward, and then the right takes a step forward, and we're marching into a police state. We better wake up and break out of this left-right paradigm. Free your mind from the matrix. Let's be born again hard as Americans. Real Americans don't give up their freedom for anything, not for a false sense of security, and not for the collective good. Collectivism leads to the loss of freedom. It's a road to serfdom. That is basic knowledge generously communicated to us from 20th century history. America is in exile, and we're all responsible. We haven't been educated enough, we haven't been paying attention enough, and we definitely have not been standing up and opposing this enough. Now, we need to stand up strong at the state level here in Maine. Support Representative Andre Cushing and anyone else trying to find ways to oppose this Health Care Act at the state level. We need to elect a governor who will appoint a strong attorney general that's willing to stand up to the encroachments of the federal government instead of cowering to it like the one that we have now. Paul LePage has stated on this show that as governor, he would nullify a national health care bill that forced people to buy insurance.
That anything that is not directly given to the federal government is relegated and stays with the states. So I don't believe the federal government has the right to pass many of the laws and many of the programs that are currently existing in this country. In my mind, are unconstitutional.
Ask other candidates for governor if they have the courage to stand up for the 70% of Mainers that oppose this health crime bill. And if you find yourself as a juror on a case where someone's accused of committing a crime for simply refusing to buy health insurance, you can refuse to convict that person if you disagree with the law. It says so right on the first page of our Constitution. You are a human being with a conscience. You're not a rubber stamp for the district attorney's office. In Washington, D.C., any member of the House or Senate that voted for the Patriot Act, the Health Care Bill, or the Cybersecurity Internet Censorship Act needs to be fired. We need to start electing people that will have enough guts to stand up to the leadership of their own party when necessary to defend our rights. Our Constitution does not authorize the government to force people to buy private health insurance or any other product for that matter. Our Bill of Rights was set up specifically to protect us from the warrantless invasion of our privacy authorized by the Patriot Act. If we're no longer going to follow the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, then the country our founders set up does not exist. Let's stand together here in Maine. Let's stay informed, let's stay alert, let's brainstorm solutions. We have a lot of great patriots here in Maine. It's time to rally around them. This has been Maine Freedom Watchdogs. I do thank you for watching. Let's keep each other free.